Hi everyone, my name is Molly Youngblood Geiger, and today I'm going to be presenting the second Hour of Code for the Hour of Code initiative launched for the week of December the 8th. So yesterday we had an opportunity to learn about JavaScript and a little bit about how you can work with shapes. Today we're going to be working with colors in JavaScript. But before we start our lesson today, I wanted to take the opportunity to share the Hour of Code overview that has been seen on YouTube. So I'm going to go ahead and present this to you now. And let's take a look at the Hour of Code and what it's all about.
Hi, I'm Leah. And I'm Tanya. And we're lucky enough to be studying computer science. Hi, I'm Tanya. We think it's terrible that 90% of schools don't teach it.
They definitely didn't offer it at my high school.
So we're trying to make this video to show that anybody can learn. We want to get 10 million students to do the Hour of Code.
Hour of Code.
Hour of Code.
The Hour of Code.
Hour of Code. Hour of Code. Hour of Code.
How do you get him to get to the sunflower? He needs to do some actions.
I got it. Hey.
And then we'll run it and see what happens.
Amazing. There we go.
Here's your first program.
I wrote it?
Yeah. This is the code that you just wrote.
Very nice. I thought like code was like FBI hacker symbols and stuff.
A little bit of problem solving, a little bit of logic. It's like instructions.
Programming is a lot easier today. Don't just play on your phone. Program. All right.
Awesome.
How does someone go about getting a job?
Maybe take an online class, find a class at a community college. You can get one of the best paying jobs in the world.
I think medicine's moving into the whole computer age. Technology touches every part of our life. If you can create technology, you can change the world.
So we're excited that you are participating in today's Hour of Code.
We just did 2 lines of code.
4 lines.
7 lines.
5 lines.
60 lines of code.
99 lines.
60 lines. 18 lines of code.
75 lines of code. Doesn't matter how old you are.
Those are breaks. The hour of code.
Hour of Code.
Yeah, programming ako. The Hour of Code. The Hour of Code.
Whether you're a young man or a young woman, whether you live in a city or a rural area,
Everybody in this country should learn how to program a computer.
I just completed the Hour of Code.
It's actually really easy to learn.
Girls should learn this too.
understand that language. That's going to be the future. Anyone can learn computer science, and you can learn too.
Jack Dorsey, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, all of y'all. I'm learning.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, now they can't tell me nothing. We give that to the people, spread it across the country. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people, spread it across the country.
Great. So now we've had an opportunity to see an overview of the Hour of Code, which is, you notice, it's an initiative to get youngsters and adults alike who have never tried coding to get started by programming some really neat JavaScript coding and other tutorials that are available on the Hour of Code website. This is not limited to just this week, though. The Hour of Code is available after this week via their website, and I'll take a minute and show you exactly what you can learn about and where you can find the tutorials for the Hour of Code after. So we're going to take a quick overview of their website. These are the actual lessons that they're sharing this week and afterwards. The first one, we'll just kind of run through them real quick. You've got your code with Anna and Elsa from Frozen. Additionally, you've got some tutorials for beginners, write your first computer program, build your own game, get creative with coding, Lightbot. And if you scroll down a little bit further, we get into JavaScript tutorials. Code Academy is one that we'll be looking into today. We've also got Code Combat, build a game with JavaScript, and an introduction to JavaScript from the Khan Academy. If you get a chance to check out the Khan Academy, it is a great resource for all types of subjects in addition to coding. Going down, we have some additional ideas on coding. If you don't have a device or internet, there are some ideas here. My Robotic Friends, conditionals with cards, Blockly, binary bobbles, Fuzz Family Frenzy, rock, paper, scissors, and then finally we have some additional tutorials for apps for phones and tablets, including Lightbot, the Foos Pre-Readers Welcome, Codable Pre-Readers Welcome, Tinker on tablets, and then more and more tutorials. Again, this is something why they've set this up on their website, because it would be really hard to cover each one of these tutorials with just 1 hour. Going into additional tutorials, we got Code Combat, Code Monkey, Drawing with Code, Programming, Virtual Robot, Eliza, the Chatterbox Doctor, Accessible Programming with Screen Reader Support, Gotta Code 'em All, Build an iPhone game in your browser, Touch Develop. We have additional tutorials, how to make your own apps or games. We've got the Play Lab, make a Flappy game, Bits, make a game, build an iPhone game in your browser. So you can see here, there's a variety of different tutorials for you to learn from. Even beyond the hour, if you go one tab over, they kind of go into some additional tutorials. They do include some of the ones that were on the previous page. But just wanted to make you aware of these resources and that they are available to you. So we're going to jump right in now and work on a tutorial. Yesterday we did the introduction to JavaScript. So if you did not get a chance to watch it, I will make sure and post a link to the event page. Again, if you have any questions, post the question to the event page and I'll try and get this answered for you. But today we are going to work on Code Academy. This also falls under the tutorials that teach JavaScript. Before we get into that though, I just would like to take a moment and share some information about myself and my experiences with coding. That would be when I initially went into website design several years back. I had no idea how to code. I literally sat down with a book and a computer and software. Software I use is Dreamweaver, which is the industry standard for website design, and learned through very similar tutorials how to build a web page. So for me, the main part of coding is practicing. It's just getting in there, trying it out, trying to figure it out, working on it, messing it up, breaking it, and fixing. So what I really like about coding though is it really does give the webmaster the ability to go in and pretty much program anything you want. You can change fonts, colors, you can change placement within a page. There's so many different things that you can do with coding, and when I saw this initiative, I wanted to participate as a host for the Hour of Code, because I understand the power of coding, and I understand that if you just start somewhere, the opportunity to grow your education on how to code is there. So with that being said, we're going to go back and I'm going to start our first tutorial this afternoon. Bear with me while I get that updated. I'm going to present to everyone. All right, so now going back to our tutorial. So we're going to be working on the Code Academy. We're going to go ahead and click the Go button here and get started on our tutorial. So it says preview. In this project, we will write a program that animates your name. When you move your mouse over your name, bubbles will scatter away and then reassemble. To create this project, we'll first learn JavaScript, a program language, then apply what we've learned to write this program. So what we're looking at right here is what I refer to as code mode. Typically with any HTML editor, you're going to have 3 different ways to view a page. You're going to have design mode, you're going to have code mode, and then you're going to have split mode, where you can actually see the visual, like we can see right here, but at the same time, we can also see the code. So the very first thing we're going to do is, let's go ahead and follow our instructions. And if you're following with me on the website, go ahead and just enter your name here. I'm going to enter my name just to show you how quickly that updates. And there you go. There's my name. So now we see the different variables. Variables are what is read and what is rendered. So in this instance, we see we have red right here, which is the M. We have the orange set right here. We have green, blue, purple, and then we have the variable of the color letters right here. So we're going to go ahead, and since we've updated this, we're going to go ahead and save. You'll notice a little way to go is right there at the bottom. So now we can start the next lesson. So it says, put in your name. Before we get started, let's see what the animation looks like with your name. In line 1, replace Codecademy with your name. Well, I've already done that. So we can go ahead and click on Save and Submit Code. Congratulations, you finished this section. Next, getting started with programming. So, what's your name? In order to write a program that animates your name, we need to learn the programming language, JavaScript. Let's get started by getting to know each other. What's your name? Instructions. In line 1, which would be this line right here, we're going to replace your name with your name. So write your name within the quotes like this, Molly. And then 2, click on Save and Submit Code. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. We got another way to go, and we're going to start the next lesson. Discover the length. Very good. You just wrote a string. A string contains letters, numbers, spaces, and symbols. Strings surrounded with quotes. These are all strings. Ryan, 4, what is your name? In our code, we're using document.write parentheses and parentheses, simply to display the string of your name in the preview window. The important stuff is inside the parentheses, so let's just focus on that. To discover the length of a string, write the string within the quote, then write a period, full stop, and the word length like this. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. So right after the end quote, we see that they've already added that particular code, the dot, the length within the parentheses. So now we're going to go ahead and click Save and Submit Code. All right, way to go. Start next lesson. Numbers, great job. So let's do some math. You can add, subtract, multiply, divide numbers in JavaScript like this. We have addition, 2 plus 3, subtraction, 6 minus 3, multiplication, 3 times 4, and divisions, 10 divided by 5. Multiply 2 really big numbers. Write your expression like between the parentheses like this. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's multiply 2 big numbers. So let's multiply 100 times and there we have our answer. Our answer is 200 right here. Now in this particular example, they did not separate the 2 numbers because if you note, the next number is 12. If you look right here, 3 times 4 equals 12. So we're going to go ahead and change that. Let's multiply 12 times 24. All right, there's our answer, 288. So we've pretty much, you can do any of the other functions, addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, any of those functions you can program here. Not going to change the learning plan, but for me, if I were doing this on my own, I probably would include a space between those numbers. But let's go ahead and click our Save and Submit Code. And it's way to go, start next lesson. So let's do that. All right, booleans, nice job. Now let's take a look at booleans. A boolean is like a light switch. It can have two values, just like a light. Switch can be on or off. A boolean can only be true or false. You can use booleans in your code by writing statements that evaluate true or false, like this. 10 is greater than 3. It evaluates to true. 5 is greater than, less than 4 is, 5 is less than 4 is just crazy talk. So this evaluates to false. Booleans are extremely useful because they let us run certain parts of our code only if certain conditions are true. We'll see how to do this in our next section. When you write a statement that evaluates to true if the length of the string is "I'm coding like a champ" is greater than 10 characters. In other words, write the string "I'm coding like a champ." Then find the length of the string, like you did here, and then see if it is greater than 10 characters. Look at the examples above. So we're going to do that. We're going to come right over here into our coding editor, and we're going to write the string. Oop, hold on. It has to be within the parentheses. I'm coding like a champ. We're going to remove any extra spaces because every single space counts. Then we're going to go back and add dot length like we did in our previous tutorial. So you'll notice and I just went ahead and pulled this up so you can see, just in case you have any questions about the code itself, there is a little quick help guide, if you will, but you'll see looks like I need to redo this snippet of code. And then I need to add the variable and then 10. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and save and submit our code. It says, oops, try again. Check if I'm coding like a champ. Length is greater than 10 characters. So let's see what we did wrong. So let's go ahead and erase everything. Looks like we needed an extra space. Let's go ahead and just redo the whole thing. Oh, I used the apostrophe instead of a period. Sorry about that. And you'll notice right here, it says true. Okay, congratulations, you finished this section. So essentially what we did in this section is we wanted to make sure that the character length is true, and that's what we did. So next we're going to do the next lesson, which is animating your name. What we'll do, in the previous section we started learning JavaScript programming language. So far we've used strings, numbers, booleans. In this section we'll write a program to animate your name. Move your mouse over Codecademy in the preview window. You're going to make this. So real quick, we're going to review our instructions. it says press save and submit code to get started. So we're going to do that. All right. So it says in the previous, well, we just did that. Okay, start next lesson. Okay, variables. You heard me mention this term earlier in our conversation. So far, we've been typing in strings, numbers, and booleans into the editor. To do more complex coding, we need a way to save these values. We can do this using variables. A variable stores a string, number, or boolean and gives it a specific case-sensitive name. For example, you can have a variable as my name, or variable as my age, or variable is even equals true. So in this specific lesson, in line 1, it says create a variable called my name, and then type in your name. Well, they've already kind of done that for us. The variable's right here. I've already gone in and called it my name. So all we need to do is type in our name, which is what I've done. Okay, so we're going to click the Save and Submit code. And there we go. Way to go. Start the next lesson. All right, now we are on to functions. Excellent. Your name is drawn as a collection of bubbles. How did this happen? In line 1, you created a variable named my name, which you stored a string of your name. In line 5, a function named drawName took your name string and drew it on the screen. Hang on, what's a function? A function takes an input, does something with it, and then returns output. In our code, the input was your name, and the output was the picture of your name as a bunch of bubbles. So we're going to review the instructions. Let's give the bubbles some color. I prepared another variable named blue that stores the color blue. Add blue as another input to the drawName function, like this. drawName, my name, blue. See what output you get. Okay, so we're going to go back to our code editor, and right where it says my name, right here, this is the variable we'll be changing. We're going to put my name, and then the word blue. Okay. Okay, it looks like we're having some connectivity problems, folks. I apologize for that. Typically, it's busy in my area this time of day. Let's go ahead and try and refresh this. Okay, let's see if we can get this to work again. Again, I apologize for the delay, but sometimes that's part of the fun of hosting a Hangout on Air. Is you have little fun things like that happen. Anyways, let's try this again. Let's go back down to our instructions. It says, let's give the bubbles some colors. I prepared another variable named blue that stores the color blue. Add blue as another input to the drawName function like this. Let's do this. Let's reset the code. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. Even as skilled coders, we have issues from time to time. Anyways, we've done that. Essentially, the draw name is pulling from the variable Molly, which I have defined up here. And then we added to the MyName function the color blue. So we've got that done. Let's go ahead and save and submit the code. All right, way to go. Start the next lesson. All right, so we're going to scroll back. In this particular section, we're going to go over arrays. It says, looking good. Your name is now gone as a collection of blue bubbles. But wouldn't it be cooler if we could use more than one color? Variables like MyName can store numbers of strings. But so far, we've only been able to store one number or one string at a time. Good thing we have arrays. Arrays stores lists of data. And then they quickly go over some samples here. We got some names, blue, variables of the blue, and all that good stuff. Anytime you see data surrounded by the brackets, the opening and ending brackets, it is an array. In fact, computers can understand colors like blue as an array of numbers, as shown in the example above. Instructions. I've added a few variables that store colors in lines 1 through 5. They are simply arrays of 3 numbers. In line 7, set MyName equal to your name again. Remember to use quotes since your name should be a string. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So in line 7, we set MyName equal to your name again. Remember to use quotes, which we have done, and since your name should be a string. In line 8, create an array named letter colors that stores a list of colors. For example, letter colors equal red, orange, green. Remember to separate each variable with a comma. So we're going to go to our code editor and we're going to click the opening bracket. And then we're going to type letter colors, the equal sign, and we're going to type blue, red, yellow, green. And then we cannot forget our end bracket. So we'll need to put one of those there. Okay. Now, one of the things you need to remember is you need to separate each one of these with a comma, which we've done. Blue, comma, red, comma, yellow, comma, green. Okay, looks like it didn't like the spaces, so we'll get rid of those spaces. In fact, let's just follow their lead and use the exact same colors. I was trying to be fancy here, but let's do the exact same colors. Red, orange, oh, if I could spell orange, and green. Red, green. Oh, I did a space again, sorry. Okay, have my bracket in the wrong spot. See, that's the thing about coding. If you mess it up, it's real simple to figure out. So since we have our colors here now, I think I am going to go back and use red, blue, yellow, Okay, yellow is not defined, so we can't use that one. But we can use red, blue, and green. So I'm going to use red, blue, and green. So let's go ahead and save and submit the code. All right, way to go. Start the next lesson. So change the bubble shape. Colorful, what did we just do? We gave the function, draw name, two inputs. One was your name, the other was an array of colors. The output was a multicolored picture of your name. Now let's change the shape of the bubbles from circles to squares. There's a variable called bubble shape that lets you control the shape of the bubbles. When bubbles shape equals square, the bubbles are shaped as squares. When bubble shape equals circle, the bubbles are shaped as circles. Instructions. Change the shape of the bubbles from circles to squares. In line 9, add bubble shape equals square. Don't forget to use the semicolon to close off the line. The bubbles will change to squares. So let's do that. Let's go to our code editor and type bubble shape equals, equals square. Oh, hold on, got messed up somehow. That's the thing with coding is it has to be very exact. So let's parentheses, SQUARE, parentheses, semicolon. Okay, we need to reset this. Okay, we had an accident. Okay, let's go back to line 9 again. Try again. So we're going to type BUBBLESHAPE equals parentheses square parentheses semicolon. Now, if you take a look over here in our output, you'll notice that the bubbles are now changed to squares instead of a circle. So in order to complete this tutorial, we'll move forward and save and submit the code. Okay, it says we've earned a badge, 10 exercises. So I don't know, I might share it later. I'm not going to take up the time during our tutorial. Close that out. So way to go, start the next lesson. Decisions, great job. Next, let's use Booleans to decide whether a block of code should run. Take a look at this code. And we'll just quickly take a look at it. If 10 is less than 3, imagine with the parentheses, bubble shape equals circle. Otherwise, or else, the bubble shape will equal square. Now imagine we have a robot that starts in line 1 of this code and he walks it down line by line. If the condition in this case is 10 is less than 3 evaluates to true, then the robot runs the code inside the first pair of curly braces, which will make the bubbles circle shaped. Else is the condition is false, which it is in this case. So the robot skips the code in the first block of curly braces entirely and runs the code into the second block. Therefore, the bubbles will be square shaped. This is called an if-else statement. Instructions. Let's add an if-else statement to our program. Delete bubble shape equals square in line 9 of your code. So let's do that now. Okay. Replace it with an if/else statement that makes the bubbles circle shaped. Use the if-else statement in the example above to get started. Remember to imagine a robot walking down your if-else statement line by line. We're going to go ahead and click Get a Hint. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to include both of these lines of code on line 9 where we left off. So we're just going to use the exact same example right here. If, go to your code editor, you'll go to your code editor first and type if parentheses, 15, make sure and click shift to get the right symbol, 5, parentheses, and then we're going to space over and we're going to type erase. And then make sure and use your semicolon. And then we're going to go ahead and do our ending brace. What it's supposed to be. Oops. Back one, ending brace. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do an else block. The robot will skip this code if the block above is evaluated to true. So we're going to go ahead and type else and then our brace. And then bubble shape equals square. And then we're going to go backspace, ending brace. And that should do it. So let's go ahead and submit our code and see what report we get. We got a way to go. So we have successfully installed an if-else statement. So let's go ahead and start the next lesson. Bounce the name. Whew. Great work with the if-else statements. Let's make the bubbles in your name more interactive. It would be cool if you could mouse over your name and cause it to move in some way. We have a function called bounce name that shakes your name around when a mouse comes close to it. Note that bounce name does not take any inputs, unlike draw name, which took 2 inputs. So the instructions are add the function bounce name as the last line of your program after the draw name. So when you go to your code editor, that's going to be this line right here, because when you're programming, you have to be very specific in where you place elements within your code. Otherwise, they could overlap, they could hide it. There's all kind of quirky things that could happen. It's like I tell people, when you're coding, if one character is out of place, it won't work. So anyways, let's go ahead and type bounce name, parentheses, in parentheses. And when you hover over the name, you'll now see that it's bouncing. So we're going to go ahead and follow the instructions, save and submit code. All right, way to go. Start next lesson. So let's do that. Okay, bounce the bubble. Sweet, your name rattles around when you move it near. Sweet, your name rattles around when you move your mouse near it. Now, as cool as it is to see your name shake about, it would be even cooler to bounce the bubbles themselves. We have another function called bounce bubbles that does this, similar to bounce name. This function does not take any inputs. Replace bounce name with bounce bubbles. Click and submit code, and then you'll move your mouse around your name. So really, in this instance, all you really have to change is remove name and then replace with bubbles. Okay, so now when you hover over your mouse, look at that. That is cool. I love it. All right, so we successfully installed the bounce bubbles function. So now we're going to go ahead and save and submit code. All right, way to go. Start next lesson. Congratulations, awesome. The bubbles in your name scatter about and regroup when you move your mouse over them. You started this track learning JavaScript and some of the basic ingredients to make a program, such as strings, numbers, and booleans. Then you connected those concepts together with variables, arrays, and an if-else statement to wire a program that animates your name. Congratulations on all of your hard work. We want to thank Google, Rob Hawks, and Mark Bring-Jones, and Emily Petrone. This course was inspired and built on their work. Instructions. Save and submit code, and you can animate your name with your friends on the next page. Report your success back to the hour of code. So we're going to go ahead and click this first. And looks like you can get your own certificate of achievement. So I'm going to go ahead and type my name here. Click submit. Thanks for submitting. Click on the other certificates to download or print. Now keep going with the other courses. So as you complete each one of these courses, you will be able to receive your own certificate stating that you have completed that tutorial. So, but quickly we're going to go back and finish our lesson. I'm one of those kind of people that I like to follow through and make sure, and there it is, our bubbles are bouncing, our names are bouncing, and we did a great job. So we're going to save and submit code. All right, congratulations, you have finished this course. So what happens is we earned a badge, we got a certificate of completion, and now we can look at our quick goal overview. It's over there real quick, see what's going on. So this looks like it just gives you some information on another tutorial that you can start and quickly see some stats about it. Had 41,000 enrolled students, estimated time to complete is 60 minutes, beginner level. So I really enjoyed presenting this to you today. I, again, am a big fan of learning how to code. Coding can be a little intimidating. I can say for myself, when I first started coding, if it hadn't been for the book, I wouldn't have known where to start. And that's why I think this is such a great initiative, because of the fact that it literally step by step, you can go through any of the tutorials. They're very self-explanatory. Even if you get in there and screw it up like I did, you know, I'm an experienced coder and I still screwed it up. So, but it's that empowerment of having these tools available to you that you're able to go in and train yourself. And that's exactly what I did for myself. I have taken classes on a university level, but for the most part, I trained myself on everything I learned how to do with coding, graphic design, search engine optimization. Really, once you open that door to coding, there is so much that you can learn. And I think, and I agree with Steve Jobs, everybody should learn how to program or code, because even if you just have a basic working knowledge of how to code, it really is going to give you a lot of insights. Even if you're just surfing the net, you can actually, and a lot of people don't know this, you can actually go to any web page on any website, anywhere on the internet, and do something known as a page source. And a page source will reveal the actual code that that page has. It just doesn't render it that way because it's rendering it as an HTML file. So that's a quick little tip. It depends on what browser you're using, but usually you're going to go into your tools. There usually will be something called Web Developer, and from there you can access the view page source where you can just take a quick peek. And I think it's really neat to do that because you can actually go in and I mean, really any website, Google, Facebook, any of the social networking websites, maybe your own website. You know, maybe you've hired somebody to build your website and you have no idea what code is actually behind what's rendering on the internet. What I actually like to do is view the code at the same time I'm viewing the page, and I've actually gotten to a point where I've become so familiar with coding in the headers and the footer and the body and dropping in JavaScript that I actually can now open a web page and page source and actually identify, okay, this is the header, okay, there are their social networking icons, there's the navigation bar, there's the video they have installed, and it's really neat to be able to have that knowledge to really look at any web page and dissect, if you will, what the coder has done. Coding has become incredibly easy compared to where it was, say, 15 years ago. 15 years ago, when somebody coded something, they actually would sit in code mode. They didn't have an editor. They didn't have any type of really resourceful tool to be able to look at the design versus what's coding, which, you know, that's almost like trying to code, you know, trying to build something blindfolded. You can't even really identify what it is you're building. And so that's why HTML editors like Dreamweaver, which is an industry standard HTML editor that's used by web professionals. That's what I use. Very, very helpful. It's not the only one out there. There are some online content management systems that will let you look in code mode, but the only difference between programming in a content management system versus programming in an HTML editor is there's a lot more freedom for you to do. I mean, just all kind of custom scripting, search engine verifications, a lot of things that people aren't even aware that are on a web page. It's a little bit more difficult to do when you're in a content management system. So that's why I'm a big believer in learning how to code. It can be a little intimidating, but it's one of those things, you just get in there, get your feet wet, and get working on it. I will share with you that I will be answering questions. If you have any questions in regards to any of the tutorials on the Hour of Code, or any just in questions in general about websites, design, JavaScript, search engine optimization. There's a lot of coding that goes on with search engine optimization. We use something called metadata tags, which are just little tags of information such as title, description. There's about 25 regular metadata tags that can be used, and that doesn't even touch upon all of the social media metadata tags that can be used, like Open Graph cards, which are your Facebook tags. There's 10 to 15 of those that can be used. There's Twitter cards. Those are your metadata tags for Twitter. Pinterest works a little bit different. They actually have a verification tag for kind of like the search engines have it set up. It's not an actual metadata tag. It's more you registering your website with Pinterest. But again, go to the event page, any of the event pages for that matter. I've created one for each day this week because I am hosting an Hour of Code every day this week. If you have questions, type them in there. I'd be happy to answer them. If you can share this with your network, anybody that you think might benefit or who might be interested in learning to code, schools, churches, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, any organizations in your local area that you think might have potentially the interest of people learning to code, I ask you to please share the Hour of Code. Don't have to share my event. If you want to send them direct to the Hour of Code website, that's perfectly fine with me. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to bring the Hour of Code. Just real quick, wanted to give you that website name. Again, it's https://code.org/learn. Again, you can visit the Hour of Code tutorials direct from https://code.org/learn. That's where you can go and directly access the Hour of Code. In addition, you can also visit thecodeacademy.com. They have some great resources on learning how to code. That URL is www.codeacademy.com. So that's www.codeacademy.com. And alternatively, if you have any questions, or even if you have any insights or comments, I invite you to make those on the event page. You can log into your Gmail account, go to your profile, and from your profile on the left-hand side, there'll be a navigation bar which will pull up your posts and communities and hangouts. There's a whole variety. In fact, I'll just go ahead and quickly just show you where you can access that. Hold 1 second real quick. Let me do a screen share so that way you can see what I'm looking at. So you're just going to want to go to the profile. And then from your profile, right here in the left-hand side of the page, you'll notice there's a little drop-down menu that comes up. It's supposed to come up. It's very slow to come up. Okay, so now I finally got the menu to come up. And you just scroll down to the events right here. And all you'll need to do is look under your past events. Now these are some of my upcoming events. You'll see there's lesson 3, but there's a section for past events right here. So you'll see right here the Hour of Code lesson 2. This event that you're attending today can actually be accessed right here. But just real quick, you can also, here's a quick screenshot. This is where I'm talking about asking questions. If you have any comments, tips, tricks, then I invite you to do so. So with that being said, it appears that we are reaching the end of the hour for our Hour of Code event. And again, I wanted to take the opportunity to present this information to you. I appreciate your time. For those who had an opportunity to attend the live event, if you couldn't make the live event, no worries. There will be a replay available on YouTube that will go over the lesson that we learned today. And again, I invite everybody to make questions, comments, insights, what your thoughts. If you liked it, you hated it, let me know what you think on my event page. Again, thank you everyone for the opportunity to present another Hour of Code learning event. And stay tuned for the next Hour of Code set for 4 p.m. Wednesday, tomorrow afternoon. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Talk to you soon. Thank you.